What's up, guys? Welcome back from the MLG Studios here in New York City. It is 10:39 p.m. local time, or 10:36. I think there's a 3-minute stream delay. I don't want to line anyone. But we're getting late into Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great time, and I hope you join us tomorrow and over the following week, because we're casting the WCS America qualifiers for the Premier Division, and we're having a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having fun too. We're currently watching Crank versus Apocalypse. Game 2 is going to be on Cloud Kingdom. Let's get into it.
So here we got Cloud Kingdom. This is a map dominated by a lot of ramps, a lot of choke points, a little serpentine movement pattern. You can outmaneuver your opponent using the sides of the map, and if you do so, you will control the side expansions, which are more important as the game gets into the later stages.
Watchtower control, very important as well.
Yes.
Lots of dips and nooks and crannies on this map. And here we are in game number 2. In the top right-hand location, we have the blue Terran player, currently on Team Quantic Gaming, trying to qualify for the Premier Division of WCS America. Currently down 1-0 in this best of 3. Needs to win 2 in a row to advance to the next round. He is Apocalypse. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location is the red Protoss player, the first player to join Team Axiom. Having a solid run in this tournament. He's up 1-0 against his opponent. If he wins one more, he will advance to the next round and be 1 series away from qualifying for the Premier Division of WCS America. He is Crank. Inspirational play in that last game, if I may say so myself, Mr. Axel.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Inspired me to sharpen my reflexes until I can catch a mosquito in the air.
Dude, I saw that, and I don't think anyone else did, but I was impressed.
So, Cloud Kingdom. I really want to know what Apocalypse has in store. Looks like it's going to be Command Center first, but I hope he does something funky to follow it up, because the opening last game was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
The way it kind of evolved, and we basically had map hacks. Like, we saw everything that was going on. We were still confused. Had no idea what he was planning. So,
no, he knew what he was doing.
He did, but imagine his opponent.
Oh.
His opponent. I mean, Crank had no idea what was going on in the opening there. With great force fields and use of photon overcharge, he was definitely, able to persevere and hang through that aggression. But it was a really interesting opening. And imagine if he ran his first Stalker across the map with the Mothership Core and those 2 Reapers just snuck in there.
Yeah, that could have been very damaging.
Yeah, that could have been 2 Reapers into a lot of probes if there's no Stalker.
Honestly, I think Crank, seeing the early gas, seeing the reactor on the barracks, could probably guess that it was Double Reaper, though.
Well, yeah.
In fact, I dare say he might have seen that build before.
Could be.
He plays these guys play so many games.
Yeah, as soon as when you see the gas first, you're going to assume it's factory, but then when you see the reactor before factory.
I think if you ever see gas, I feel like it's always a little bit dangerous sending your Mothership Core across the map if you see a gas first.
Yeah, he did it though. He was confident.
Yeah.
He was just content he could defend with that. Ooh, not quite getting SCV, but the probe escapes. Nice little harass there.
Has first blood happened yet? No. First blood is not.
It almost did. The probe is down to 3 and SCV was down to 10. That was a well-fought duel.
I think they have mutual respect.
Yeah.
Perhaps they are making a mutual agreement to meet somewhere else on the map in 5 minutes. They'll duke it out. But the SCV is cheating. He's getting repaired.
He has friends helping him out. The probe is a loner, man.
Yep.
He's just out there on the map, hanging out, guarding the watchtower.
All right, so Crank taking a very fast expansion. Adding on 2 gases in his main base, has a Stalker on the way. Have to see how many units he makes before teching up a little bit. It's always interesting to see how many sacrifices Protosses are making, because they have that early Mothership Core, which does allow you a nice sense of security. So you can afford to not make as many gateway units early and tech a little bit faster.
Going straight for that robo facility. It's more and more common these days to see different Protosses. It's pretty much the standard PBTs. You expand, then you get that robo before you add more gates. Because, like you mentioned, you're safe at home with that Mothership Core.
Deja vu.
And what's really, really important is to scout the Terran, because there's so many powerful options. Widowmine drops, even Hellbat drop play, fast thirds, fast upgrades. It's even more important that you identify what your Terran opponent is doing in Heart of the Storm than it was in Wings of Liberty.
I feel like we've seen this before. 5 Marines, 6 Marines advancing
Yep.
onto the natural expansion. A Stalker going to be kiting away. I think Crank, he shouldn't be in too much trouble here. Oh, even going to deploy Photon Overcharge to keep those Marines away, which is fine.
It is. I like it actually. His probes have been vulnerable if the Marines got closer. So
He might be able to take down a significant amount of these Marines. He's going to be flanking a little bit with the Stalker. No, just
Yes.
going to bring it back to his natural.
he has a Stalker out in the field somewhere, doesn't he?
Are these going to get home? Are these Marines going to get home?
You know what? They would be happy to get home.
They might die.
Oh no, the Stalkers are after him. Run, Marines! Wait, they can hold the high ground.
They can.
They can hold the high ground. No, they're gonna give it up. They're too scared.
And there's no other high ground for a long way away.
Yeah.
Actually, he's going to back up. Oh, retreating one of the Stalkers. And Crank, if he can kill all these Marines, that would be fantastic for
He's
him.
taking a lot of damage though.
Oh, it's Stalker solo and health. Crank! So low.
Oh!
Oh, that Marine is a hero, but he's going to die.
Getting the kill.
Oh,
You
wait
know,
a second.
That's a gesture of respect. It's
It
like
is.
it's like in the Predator. Oh no, he's gonna finish. It's like in the Predator movie, right? When the girl kills the alien, and then the Predator looks at her and lets her live, and he like draws a little diagram on her. Never mind. I think I lost
I
there.
never saw that.
Apocalypse moving out now with a larger force, saying 5 Marines. You passed that wave. Wave
Oh
number
my gosh,
2.
he wants revenge,
8
man.
Marines and a Marauder. And the Marauder's like, all right, you guys, I'll show you how it's done. Follow me. So, you know.
Well, why is
trundling
he in the
along.
back if he's saying follow me?
Well, because then he realized that there'd be Protoss out there and he wants other guys to take the hits. So
Okay.
he's like, follow me. And he's like, go on, I'll catch up.
Clever Marauder indeed.
Yeah. But you start out saying follow me so they think you're brave. Then when you cross the map and get to the danger zone, then you tell them, you guys take the lead. I'll watch your back.
Makes sense. Let's see if he decides to push in there. I don't expect him to. I mean, Photon Overcharge is still there. He should be able to identify sentries with energy, which have the ability to force field and make his day not fun. And I do expect him to retreat. Just taking some map control, making sure the Stalkers are still lurking on the map. Observer going to get killed at the National Expansion. Nice safety turret there from Apocalypse. Stim is almost done. Starport halfway there.
A very late starport.
That is
Yeah,
pretty
he
late.
did this last game. I mean, not horrendously, about 40 seconds to a minute late, because he was prioritizing all the unit production first. And Crank, I don't think unit production is going to do anything. I mean, Crank has like 6 gateways. He's got 1-1 blink
Colossus
on the way. Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll force Photon Overcharge.
There's Photon Overcharge. Watch out for those force fields.
Yeah, I mean, and it's nice to burn the energy from the mothership core, and it's not like it's a bad thing, but to sacrifice your medevac timing, I don't know.
All right.
He likes it though. He did the same thing last game. Very late medevacs, a lot of early aggression with just a bunch of Marine men.
So once these medevacs get on the field, he should be applying a decent amount of aggression. Of course, one of the ideas is, all right, force a Photon Overcharge. Cloud Kingdom is not the easiest map to hold a push onto your natural expansion because it's even ground. The gap isn't, ridiculously small. So, and the main base, the high ground is so close where you could theoretically just pick up and go drop in the main if your opponent isn't careful and take advantage of
There is blink.
out of position units. Oh, that's a great point.
You know, the one thing I love about Crank I've noticed throughout his play is his observer placement is always in spots like when the one outside his natural, for example, they're in spots where Terran is not gonna like look for one, right? They're in very, very cleverly, but yet it still sees what's going on. But it's not like, oh,
that's a bold stim. Still plenty of sentry force fields available. Apocalypse going to be trying to kite away, retreating back, splitting up those units to minimize the effectiveness of the Colossus damage. Doing a great job splitting them, but is it going to be enough? Crank.
oh, the medevac's going down.
Oh, the medevac's such an important
but
part
the
of this.
Zealots are down too.
Oh my god, Apocalypse going to turn around with the Marines and Marauders targeting down the Colossus. Photon Overcharge is not available.
Oh, scan to try to kill the Colossus, but it gets away in time, and the Blink Stalker should finish off that force.
Wow, I think Apocalypse might be...
I don't think he liked that trade.
If he got that Colossus, I think
If he did, maybe. But the thing is he got 2 sentries, but mostly Zealots, and he lost both his medevacs.
Yeah.
In a lot of units too. So, I mean, the supplies are very even now. Whereas a guy who delays his starport for amazing barracks production would really want to be ahead in supply. And the upgrades are definitely looking better for the Protoss player. He's got Blink already done.
Just
He's
like
got,
last game.
Yeah.
He's not as... Apocalypse isn't
Yeah,
as
actually,
far
you're
behind.
right. It's not.
In the
The upgrades
2-2.
are pretty close. I
Yeah.
didn't realize how fast he was getting those. That's pretty impressive. So this is actually, I mean, I think it's slightly good for Protoss. The thirds are roughly on par with what you'd expect in a TVP. It's actually looking to be a very even game. The only thing that's a little worrisome for Apocalypse is the amount of air units he has. You know, he got Switzerland late on the starport, and he lost his first 2 medevacs against an opponent who hasn't lost any of their Colossi yet.
All right, let's see what Apocalypse does from here. I don't think he's necessarily going to have the ability to try to deny that third base.
Maybe with draw play, but
Yeah.
not as the direct.
straight
He's
up.
got to be tricky. He's got to be tricky. And he did that on the last game, Akon Waste. Remember, he was able to snipe the Templar Archives and the Nexus. If there's anyone who's tricky, Apocalypse has the moves in this game. A much faster second starport.
Kind of like a knight in chess.
Yes.
You got to be tricky.
Tricky knights.
Tricky knights.
Tricky knights. A little bit of Zealot harassment coming here on the top.
This is deja vu. Who did this?
It
Was Crank? Wasn't it? In a game we cast earlier. It was. He played a Terran. I don't know.
It was whoever played the Muslim, right?
No.
No, never mind. Sorry, I have it wrong. We casted too many games.
I know.
It was the same thing.
It was Crank. It was Crank. I'm 100% confident.
What Terran did he play?
Oh, gosh. All right, we got to focus on this game.
Yep.
We can't think too much about this.
We'll come back to it later. Going for 3/3 Templar Archives, very, very standard play for Crank. He still has that great observer coverage. Zealot on the Watchtower, observers covering everywhere the Watchtower doesn't cover. Stalker's active on the right side of the map. Picture perfect macro PVT, and yes, he's falling a little bit down in supply, but that's because he's investing so much in and also Terran tends to always get ahead in supply.
You don't want to let your Protoss opponent, though, get crazy with the Colossi and Templar.
No.
3-3, halfway done here.
So the good news for Apocalypse is he has an extra starport, so he can try to keep up with Vikings and Medivacs. Bad news is there's no Ghost Cannon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not bad because there's no Storm on the way. He could actually hit a...
That's true. Maybe he identified from last game that it wasn't really a priority for Crank.
Yeah, and if the money you save on the Ghost, you can hit a wicked max timing, especially if he hits before 3-3. This could actually be really bad for Crank. That is a lot of Terran heading towards him.
Gosh.
And the upgrades are equal right now. How many Colossi does he have? What's the... It's 3 Colossi and 7 Vikings.
1 on the way. 3-3 needs to finish. He's going to force field that ramp, saying, "You shall not pass, good sir." I'm sorry. The Stalker's blinking to the left, trying to take down some Vikings, but I think he lost the Stalker there.
He did, and nice moves by Apocalypse.
Oh, the Ridge Marauders charging up. Photon overcharge, not going to happen. The Colossi trying to get that damage done, spreading out the Colossi as effectively, or the bio as effectively as he can to try to dodge the terrible splash damage. But Apocalypse up 173 to 94 in supply. Way too much bio, way too many Vikings, and Crank forced to throw down the GG. And we have a tie series on our hands in the last round of the day, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Great play there from Apocalypse to take home victory in Game 2.
It really was. Beautiful play there. I think he recognized the weakness in Crank's play. You know what that reminded me of? This kind of goes back, but Flash versus Crank from the MVP Invitational Tournament. Crank tried a standard Colossus upgrade play. In fact, he's like, well, if you're not going to get Storm, I'll just max it and kill you, because I'll be 30.
That was so long ago, man. That was like 8 months ago.
But it's the same idea, is that if a Protoss doesn't get Storm...
That was Wings of Liberty, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, this was Wings of Liberty, basically. It was Mothership Core, but... yeah, Terran who macros well. I mean, Flash was like 50 food ahead because he's Flash. This game, I think he was only 30 food ahead, Apocalypse, which is more normal for TVP when Terran's not trying to tech too hard. But yeah, that food gap, if you have the Vikings with the Colossi, not without Storm, it's just too strong.
How do you kill all those Marines and Marauders? Especially if the Terran player manages to get that spread.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that's actually kind of hard to get on Cloud Kingdom, where you have to run up a ramp to get to that third. So Apocalypse doing a great job somehow making it to that point where you can actually get up the ramp and start spreading out the units, because ideally as a Protoss, you have those force fields down, you straight up prevent that from happening. Or, again, once they start coming up there, kind of create a funnel of sorts. But again, great job from Apocalypse, doing a great timing there to even up the series 1-1, which means we're going to have a Game 3. So guys, stay tuned. Last game of the night coming up between Crank and Apocalypse. The winner of this next game will advance forward in the winner's bracket of this qualifier for WCS America Premier Division. The loser will drop down to the lower bracket. Stay tuned.